ndi mulekwa.
You're partially.
I am judgeless now.
You're partially Jaja mulekwa.
I am judgeless.
Jaja mulekwa. Jaja mulekwa. Deceased.
You are judgeless.
You are the deceased.
Naye inawe judge kati. Baba bewe bali.
Wamazizao. Ekyamanyira avu ya judge.
Judgeless.
Abakulesa okuze. Myaka 5 kuba nawe badde ofuuse judge. Wafiiriddwa banno. The president, as we talk, has passed into law. It was a bill. It was a bill initially. Then he has passed it into law after signing. He seconded and then he signed on it. Now it automatically becomes a law in Uganda that civilians can actually be tried in court martials. What does that mean?
That means this is a military government. It's no longer a democratic government. Yeah, whether you like it or not, it is a military government. It's not a democratic government. Now, what I mean with that is that now the military has power over anybody, over even the normal courts of law. So whatever the military court will say, the courts of law won't be able to say anything. Now, if you don't know about the court martial, the court martial is a space you go to and you don't win. Yeah, most times, very few cases are won through the court martial. There is no proper procedure of court. By the time you come there, it is ideally a space that you go to and hardly win anything. Now, if you don't understand,
unless of course they find you not guilty,
but
it's basically a military. It's a place where they try the military.
Diana, by the
it's
time
not for civilians.
Yes, it's not meant for civilians.
That's the only difference.
But it is for a civilian now.
Yeah, for now, yes. Now that
even if you're not a civilian, actually, even then, it's been operating like that. If you're found with a gun,
yeah,
you automatically qualify
with a military regalia
for court martial.
You're definitely a court martial candidate. Why? Because some of those things are entire. Now that means whoever
if you become a threat to this nation in any way, even in propaganda, even in your words and
because your words can be treasonous.
Yeah.
You understand that your words can be treasonous. You can say words that are very treasonous.
Yeah.
You can say words that are slanderous. You can do social media posts that can threaten.
Yeah, the
sovereignty of the state.
Exactly. So here we have Ugandans now that do not know. Well, members of parliament thought they did something. NRM members of parliament, thank you very much for what you have done. Se tutubawulira nga muzeemu okukaaba. Kitegedde mwebale kusisa teeka.
Ekisooka option eryawo.
Babadde bagirina. Ekisooka, one, this government is now a military government. It's not a democratic government, whether they like it or not. Number two, number two, you need to understand that the CDF, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, is a president also.
In case that's
not in case
the powers given to him, in case there is any problem with the president, yeah, that is when he can step in.
But the constitution does not say that. The constitution in the number two in line is the vice president.
Yeah, but
number
now it's the other way around.
Is the speaker of parliament. Which take it. Kakati today, bungamba. First and foremost, do you know that the powers of the CIC, the commander-in-chief, are in the office of the CDF? So now, the CDF appoints and anyone he wants, at any leisure, any pleasure, and all those powers are in him. So today the army can be commanded by General Muhoozi Kainerugaba without questioning, without actual authority from the president. Because he is the commander-in-chief. The office now is of the commander-in-chief is in the CDF hands. So today we have the entire army taking over. UPDF has officially taken over Uganda. So whatever we are doing, these political party games, not tuli mu just mu games, tuli mu kola mu bukozi katemba kunyumirwa mu bunyumirwa naye ng'ekigenda mu maaso is the army is in control of this nation.
But I think this bill is mainly targeting, because we are nearing that at the time of Bululu and voting and all of that, the campaigns. I think it's now targeting the funny politicians. Yeah?
It's not about the funny
because
politicians.
now they won't have the privilege of just going to just these normal courts of civilians. Yeah, they get you trying to kukunga bantu, you know, come, let's revolt, let's do this, let's do that. They take you to the court martial. Professor, get a mass.
Bayinza n'okugezaako ne bamuwa bail kuba yabadde yeetooloola bwetoolozi naye nga yabadde alina okugenda mu court of appeal mu high court. Musango bamuvunaana munene nnyo, zino kooti ze badde bamutambulizaamu tegusaanayo. Ka script kali bwe kati. Eventually bagenda bayinza okugezaako muwa bail. Naye banaaba akagimu awe bakitava mu compound.
Bamale bamukwate.
Bamukwate bamuzzeeyo mu court martial. Kale ate mu trying ebuto. Oba kiki kyekugamba.
That's terrible.
So bino byonna bye tuli we are playing our games and actually nze ngamba bannayuganda twandyesonyiye nnyo ebintu ebyo.
It's more like the rat the cat playing with the rat.
Yeah. So today as we look at things and how we see things, your members of parliament sold you your rights.
I'm telling
peanuts. You. Many sometimes you all people be there saying what NRM
but
members of parliament.
Ugandans need that iron hand, honestly speaking. Yes, there are specific Ugandans that need that iron hand, that need to know that if I misbehave in ways that are not lawful, I am going to go to the court martial.
Okay, Diana.
Knowing that at the back of your mind can put you in line.
Okay, let's get these things sorted out.
Yeah.
Diana, today,
let me ask you,
when
King,
you're a suspect, you're a suspect.
Yeah.
When you're a suspect and you're under normal court jurisdictions, it's understandable. It's wabira on a subi.
When you're a suspect, according to our law, you are guilty until charged innocent.
Until charged innocent.
All proved innocent.
Today, Olwalero, your brother.
You're not guilty until charged innocent.
In Uganda,
when you're a suspect, you're guilty
until proven innocent.
Proven innocent,
okay.
Yes.
Let's go with that.
In America, when you're a suspect, you're innocent
until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's why you're even paraded.
It's the opposite.
Hey, that's why you're even paraded in camera, paraded in criminal.
You're paraded as a suspect.
Yensonga laki bakutwala mu kooti ne weegaana omusango ne bakuzza kwa limanda.
I've seen so many people.
So today,
that is how it operates here.
Your brothers who are putting on red berets, simanya red overalls, simanya ndekana people power our power, simanya mbu biki nkola kavuyo ku street nekalakasa mu bwekalakasa, bagenda mukwatanga suspect ayine mundu nga tagirabanga nako abeera suspect wayingira court martial. Abagiyingidde tumulabeko bulabi.
Oluusi bannayuganda bakola effujjo eritasaana ery'ekisiru. I would say that. Waliwo bannayuganda abeekumamu omuliro naye nga n'ababakumamu omuliro bo bali mu maka gaabwe batudde bateredde. Bo batambulira mu armored cars.
Okimanyi?
So let them learn a lesson. Let them know that this country is not just a joke.
Yes. Now we are candidates of prison.
Yes, everyone. Any day, any time.
But this is what happens.
Let me ask you.
But this is what happens,
yes.
Diana. Someone who does not like you just needs to give a false alarm that you have a gun.
It's enough.
And that's okay. They can find you not guilty.
How long?
Honestly
Diana, for how long? Olugiyingira boti nze nkubuulira.
Well, they first investigate.
Olaba kusanga na kyambalo ne bakusaba emundu.
Diana.
Bakusanga nengatte
investigate
ne bakuba emigo nga bakusaba mundu.
Diana, you can only be helped to be investigated on if you know someone in the system. Kale kikanchikubulira olwaleero Diana.
Okay, yeah.
Teba ku investigating akoli n'abakuwayiriza ati nga tolina gwomanyiyo munene ali mu following up.
What you want to say that the army, yeah, and the police do not do anything in as far as investigate, for as long as you're just a civilian who is not a politician. No matter a politician, now I honestly speaking. Yeah. But let me tell you, let me ask you, King. Today, Basanze Diana, this normal Diana, nino musango gwa bulijjo nabbi enkoko mu kyalo oza bagenda kuntwala mu court martial
tebakutwalayo
okitegedde nti bagenda okutwalayo ng'ekikutwazizaayo ddala kiki kirimu egumba okitegeera
Dana bino ebintu by'omu nsi tebibeera straight forward nga bwe wani
of course kituufu
oba okitegedde. So what we did was to get all the powers that there is and hand it over to a system that has already assumed that power and has been doing with it whatever it pleases.
Behind the scenes.
Even in the broad daylight, not even behind the scenes, in the broad daylight, even outside of the Constitution. Now that actually they are confined within the systems of the Constitution, the issue is always going to be
even worse.
But isn't what your Constitution says. And you can't prove that beyond that because the law interprets the law. You understand that?
Yeah.
The issue is here is that there are very many people, very many of your brothers, your children, parents, train up your children to just look at politics from afar.
Yeah.
That is impossible.
Which is impossible, Masanyu, but Masanyu, you go there. You go there and be.
Where?
Eranze Masanyu, we bali kuwatirako we bati. Nanga Masanyu kingi wagwani, nanga Masanyu gwe manyi nti. Nga Masanyu.
Oyo munyweze.
Nga he knows better.
You know, we cannot, of course, have a unison voice on the show that politics, we should not probably go into politics. Politics is national service, and whoever desires national service is a patriotic Ugandan, and it is constitutional.
Politics government side.
And who says that everybody should be on government side?
And
I think everybody has a right to stand wherever he wishes.
And there are those that are not on the government side, and they are okay. They are not disrespectful. Like they don't play this dirty politics.
And there
are some people.
Still, they will tell you that they are playing for the government. Which they get playing it for the government. It's a peaceful way to.
Yeah.
So ideally, opposition politics is on defiance. It's actually built on defiance.
Yeah.
Yes, and also you can't be an opposition leader and then be on the same level, on the same line with government, because there are things that government is not doing that you need to air out, that you think they need to be checked constantly.
Yeah.
You understand that? So how you do that is what actually now matters.
Our politics, I think, is just changing, but the actual politics should be that the opposition should be whistleblowers. The opposition should be accountability partners with the people in government. That is how it should be. That is exactly how.
Bonna tewali n'omu alina moral authority okwogera ku kintu kyonna because bonna bali mu kulya.
And
no church is still sane, by the way. We still have church
just
people
because I'm a church member
that are sane in this country.
Agala kwogera bintu bingo bya ku church ku UCF.
Naye nga warning letter.
Waisamwe kanisa egaali.
Baka bakwadde warning letter recently.
Maneking kanisa.
Jireke.
Tosa generalizing anti kanisa yonna. Era kintu ekinumya omutwe bibungisibwa eyo mbu fenna ba Pentecost tuli pro government.
Yeah, we
are.
Yes,
we are.
No.
Apart from Pastor Michael Chaz.
No, church is independent. Church is independent as an institution.
It has never been.
You'd like for it to be.
Masanyu, it is not independent.
Let me put.
It is not independent.
Put it right.
Let me put it right.
Put it right.
Church
is supposed to be independent.
Church is no. Let
me.
Say
it is supposed to be independent.
Can you get it? Let me speak for myself. Church as an institution is independent, but as
supposed to be.
No. I'm the one speaking, and this is what I'm speaking for myself.
Continue.
Yes, church as an institution is independent. In the sense that we are independent as an institution. That's why even in this politics, we are open to all political candidates. I'm in church, but we give platform to all candidates of different parties. Kubanga church is an institution, just like we have education schools, just like we have family, just like we have government, Church is an institution. Era church etakkiriza nti owa FDC ajja ayogereko n'abantu oba ajja agambe ekkanisa nti banange neesimbyewo nsaba kubulu wammwe ne baga twagala wa NRM yekka wano yalina
tebakigamba bwe batyo twagala wa NRM yekka. Nze golaba mbadde mu programming y'ekkanisa for very many years. Tetwogerangako muno NRM yekka gwe twagala. Bw'ojja ng'oli wa opposition tukugambira bino ebyobufuzi mu church tebigenda kukola.
Ebyobufuzi tebikola.
Naye wa NRM bw'ajja nja ayogera.
That is the problem, because church ought to be independent. Church has to be from a neutral ground.
I think it depends on who is the leader of that church, particular church. But I want to say that most of our pastors,
where I come from, I'll speak from my church where I fellowship from, New Kabowa Redeemed Church of Christ in Kabowa. All the days I've been there at least for the past 15 years, and I've witnessed everything, how the system works. We have not favored any political candidate, and we've not deliberately seconded any political candidate, and we've not deliberately prayed for a particular political candidate. But as a church, we pray for leaders, we pray for our country, we pray for the president as a church, because that is our role to play as a church.
And that's how it's supposed to be.
That is how it's supposed to be. So any church or any institution that plays secretarian politics.
But that's what
that is how it's supposed to be.
Okay, yes.
FDC. Yes, we all want leaders that are from the Lord. But if it comes to church as an institution, church should play a neutral position. That is why I also have a problem with pastors that stand on the pulpit and start discussing politics openly. If we have bad leaders, what does the Bible say about leaders? All leaders come from the Lord.
Masanyu, that's exactly what we've been trying to tell you.
Stand ya church kuina eina kusabira gwanga na kusabira bakulembeze bagwanga. If church is politicking, that is a very bad place to be as a church, and that is not something that should be normalized as right.
Masanyu,
yes,
let me give you this rude awakening. Byonna byoyogedde birungi ku paper and in your mind, nesiwe kijjomba siwe kibadde era siwe kiribeera. As long as this NRM government is still in power, the entire church,
not only NRM, even other governments to come.
Anti eri yajje yamini yabajjawo teyagala kumanya. Kitegeeze kugamba teyagala kumanya.
So every government influences us differently. Yeah.
Today church feels like we are favored by NRM to exist.
Because they give them some money.
So
they do.
Even when the man speaks, the old man speaks, he stands and says, "You are at my mercy for your existence." So when someone has told you that you are at my mercy for your existence and you don't support that one, so who are you? Now, fast forward, even moving forward, look at what has been done by church. Today, you cannot gather Masanyu in all your powers. You cannot gather the pastors of this nation and put them in one room. But the president does, because he's their spiritual father. So the katasa kuva mu spiritual father waabwe.
Togamba spiritual father wakiremerako no, because he's their leader, he's their president.
So the president is the spiritual father of church.
No.
Of Pentecostal churches.
No, that's not right.
That's not right.
That's not right. The president is the president of the United
States of America.
Already. United States.
Spiritual father we kanisa y'abalokole go tufunira nfera ntugamba nti ekitafu.
Muri bajemu.
Atenga ne ku Interreligious Council mwinayo babiri.
Mwagana muri bajemu eyo tuveyo.
Netumuliriza. Omanyi omuntu yenna gw'owuliriza yamu mukulembezeewo.
Tumuwuliriza mu ngeri ya kubeera nti mukulembezeewo.
Let me pick this caller. Hello.
Hello. Abanywesa ababezizaawo.
Avuddeko. Okay.
Omuntu yenna gw'owa amatu n'owuliriza
King, I respect
King,
the president.
Let me take
And if there is anything that I commend this government
And I'm okay
for,
with him being the spiritual leader.
and if there is anything that I commend this government for,
he's not the spiritual
if,
leader.
if there is anything I commend this government for, one, it is for restoring the freedom of worship.
Hello.
Yes.
Let's have this call. Yes, hello.
In any democratic government, that should
Good
be
morning.
Yes, hello.
Good morning, Workers Force.
Yes, hello.
You're talking to Innocent.
Good
just
morning.
The speaker, maybe.
Good morning, Masanyu. Good morning to the rest.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I want to support the comment of King.
Yes.
The reason why King is calling the president as the spiritual father of the churches is that he comes behind and gives these people money. He funds the church actually. So you cannot do anything when someone is supporting you on the background. The churches are just for NRM now. Any church does not now listen to any other political party. Yeah.
It is wrong.
Masanyu, no one is saying no.
No one is saying it is
and we are
right.
just saying that how we wish it was even independent. But it's not.
Kyetugambye kiri ku ground kyekyo.
Kyakyo nagambye nti atanayita yatenda mama wo okufumba kati gwe otenda ewammwe gy'osabira. That's right, that is what is happening, but ekiri ku ground generally kirala muko.
Lwaki otenda ekyewammwe eyo nti mukikola bwe mutu is because ngenda kuwa asayo nga tuvudde ku mpewo kyagikuwa live.
Yes, hello.
Ejja kunyiiza.
Yes, hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Good morning, Spirit FM.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine. My name is Pius. I'm calling in from Maganjo.
Yes, please.
No, what Masanyu is saying, that's what actually it could be. And that's what it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
But what is happening, it's not the same. Let me tell you, most of the churches are supported by the government.
Exactly.
Thank you.
They are construction, the government provides them vehicles, and even sometimes security for them. Now, how do you expect them to stand in the pulpit?
You can't write a hand that feeds you.
ABCD. Of course, they will do anything in favor of their supporter. So, what is happening now? The government is supporting the churches physically. No other women. The government is supporting. I told you government will do everything in the favor of your supporter. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ateseza bulungi nnyo. He says the government provides with funds, provides with security, gives you freedom of worship. Every time you run bankrupt, you run to the president.
You run to your father, to your spiritual father.
And you ask for some grants. He gives you some money.
National resource.
We help jumpstart your day like this. Wake up call.